welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Tobago. I'm Davia Chambers, and today we're at Bella Oasis, a property that truly lives up to its name. We've also got a lot in store for you in the next half hour as we recap the major events on the island over the past week. So stay with us as we bring you all the details, starting with this week's headlines. The Mount Grace Community Center is reopened and residents are being told that this is just the beginning. We'll tell you how Tobago celebrated International Women's Day 2018, and later Tobago's fashion designers are seeking to take their creative talent to the world. We have these stories and more when Let's Talk Tobago continues. We'll be right back. Thank you for staying with us. Now, Bella Oasis was designed by well-known local contractor Shazim Ali, who chose the area because it was not surrounded with a dense grouping of houses. The location is also what inspired the name of the villa and its design. Now, Tobago has renewed its focus on communities by providing resources, programs, and facilities that can enhance development. With that in mind, one village welcomed the support that brought them a new and improved community center. More from Crystal George.
On the northern side of Tobago is the village of Mount Grace, and although it's small in size, it's often host to a variety of community activities. So residents were proud to welcome the newly refurbished community center recently. It's not the only center getting an upgrade. In fact, the recommissioning of community facilities across the island is all part of a plan for the future development of Tobago.
That becomes extremely significant for us because we say that Tobago will be developed community by community by community. In other words, for us, community development equals community empowerment equals Tobago development. Because the recommissioning of this center is but a start in respect of the things that we have organized and planned for the development of Tobago.
Marceline Melvin Jack, the Secretary of Community Development, Enterprise Development and Labor, is asking Mount Grace residents to use the facility and get as much out of it as they can.
As we present this upgraded facility to you this afternoon, my prayer is that you would use this to build capacity within your community. Help the persons who would come here to access programs that they will grow to the extent where they become productive citizens within our island.
Now that the facility is once again available, the Mount Grace community has been reminded of its responsibility to maintain the good physical conditions of the center.
And I am confident that you are going to ensure that although this is not a new center, you are going to keep this center in such a way that it remains the pride and joy of the people in this community.
This project was spearheaded by the Division of Community Development, Enterprise Development and Labor, and the Mount Grace Community Center is the second to be recommissioned. I'm Crystal George for Let's Talk Tobago.
Now, this property has fully equipped 3-bedroom, 2.5-bathroom apartments. They're just a few minutes from Mount Irving Beach and a short drive away from the A&R Robinson International Airport, as well as any of the conveniences you'll need. Now, being disaster ready means being prepared before a disaster and being able to respond quickly in its aftermath. The island got tremendous boost from Japan to ensure Windward Tobago can respond in the best possible way. Omidara Mills has this report.
A grant of over $200,000 is what it will take to refurbish this Community Emergency Response Team Search Center here in Speyside. Now, the grant assistance is coming from the Japanese Embassy under their grassroots and human security project. That's an initiative which seeks to strengthen community-based resilience towards disasters. Alan Stewart, director of the Tobago Emergency Management Agency, TEMA, says that the refurbishments will ensure the health and safety of CERT technicians who operate in the East.
The reconstruction or the refurbishment will allow for a sturdier roof, one that can be very much wind resistance. We are also hoping that the living quarters will be improved for operational purposes, that you can be able to house personnel quite effectively. The bathroom facilities will be very much improved.
The electrical and plumbing works will also be upgraded. Mr. Stewart says the building will be retrofitted to make room for emergency-related supplies.
As we're well aware that Speyside is one of those very remote and rural communities, and therefore storage facility on the compound is very important. Auxiliary power is very important as well. So this grant fund will go towards various elements, not just the physical appearance, but also the appurtenances to allow space to allow for these things to operate effectively during downtime and during emergency periods as well.
This Speyside Center is one of the 2 CERT centers run by TEMA. The other is in Mariah. The operations at the centers enable CERT personnel to quickly respond to disasters in the surrounding communities.
When an emergency occurs, you need spontaneous reaction. CERT provides that. CERT is an everyday operations in our space throughout Tobago. They provide coverage in many medical coverage. They provide emergency response. They do reconnaissance to most of the events or emergency events that occurred. And therefore, it's an initiative that the world is now looking at and looking to mirror in their spaces as well.
The signing for the grant funding was done by the Tobago House of Assembly's Chief Administrator, Ray Sandy, and Councillor and Deputy Head of Mission for the Japanese Embassy, Yoshinori Yakabe. Upgrades to Speyside's CERT Center is expected to start later this year. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
For your comfort and security, Bella Oasis is fully air-conditioned and offers a communal swimming pool, an electronic gate, and lots of parking. And the property is close to Mount Irving Golf Course if you're a fan of an early tea time. So if you are constructing a home, a commercial building, or public space, you want to ensure it's safe for every user. One symposium is seeking to raise awareness about the importance of good engineering standards.
In recent years, a renewed focus has been placed on infrastructural development in Tobago, and events like a recent Association of Professional Engineers of Trinidad and Tobago, APETT, one-day technician symposium is highlighting the importance of adhering to professional standards and practices. Events like these will ensure that infrastructural projects become beneficial to the future generation and that they are also cost-effective. And there's another key benefit of engineering standards.
Sustainable engineering can thus, in my view, be defined as responsible engineering, or engineering with a conscience, where the impact of infrastructure projects, buildings, plant and equipment, and engineering systems is carefully examined to ensure that natural resources and the environment are sustainable for future generations.
With the need to address climate change even more pressing, it's important that construction uses energy and resources sustainably.
Well-trained engineers, and once they are conscientious as well, contribute to economic growth, environmental protection, and an improved quality of life for all citizens in any country.
Engineers play a fundamental role in ensuring infrastructure is safe and built to rigorous international standards.
It is now more imperative than ever that engineers understand their responsibility to our nation and take the necessary steps to ensure high standards are achieved and maintained.
In 2016, APETT formed a Tobago chapter spearheaded by Dr. Ellis Burris and Neil Dookie. I'm Keishon Wilson for Let's Talk Tobago.
We have to take a break, but when we return, we'll tell you how Tobago commemorated International Women's Day. So stick around. Let's Talk Tobago. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Now, since the construction of Bella Oasis, all apartments have been sold and are enjoyed by property owners. However, 2 of the apartments are used for short-term rentals and they are managed by Island Investments Limited. This next story is all about the woman. The island joined the world in celebrating International Women's Day recently, and violence against women was one major issue addressed. We have the highlights in this next report.
Press for progress. That's the theme of this year's International Women's Day celebrations around the world. The Tobago Regional Health Authority held a lecture at the Canaan Health Center on the empowerment of women against violence. Pharmacist 1 Alison Pouchette says the idea behind the sensitization lecture is to engender unity among women and men who see the importance of ending violence against women.
I would just say to be aware of your situation. You're not in it alone, and in coming together, there's solidarity and finding a solution rather than just keep on talking about it and putting it under the carpet. So let's get together, form advocacy groups, and empower ourselves to find solutions.
Topics included the types and causes of abuse and the negative effects that abuse has on family members. Visitors also learned of some action plans victims can use to get out of abusive relationships. These include having alternative housing and financial independence. Those who listened in on the lecture were pleased that the issue is being addressed.
It was very informative. I am aware of most of what was discussed, and I hope persons who are sitting here actually took it in and try to apply it to themselves if they are in a situation somewhat like that. I will always advise women to stand firm and believe in whatever you believe in, and once you do that, you'll be on your right path, and don't let anybody try to intimidate you or take advantage of you.
It's kind of hard sometimes, because sometimes when they help out someone, they normally go back to the abuser because how they're so accustomed to it. That seek help, talk to someone, anybody close, pastor, family member, or anyone that could be able to help you get out of that situation, take that route.
A women's symposium was also held to commemorate International Women's Day. It was hosted by the Division of Health, Wellness and Family Development in collaboration with the TRHA at the Lowlands Multipurpose Facility. Participants heard from speakers like Tourism Minister Shamfa Kojo and former Independent Senator Dr. Eastland McKenzie.
When people empower you, for me and for the dictionary it says you have authority. You have authority. You are empowered, you have power, you have authority. And another thing I said, I added to it, you have to have courage.
International Women's Day grew out of the labor movement in the early 20th century across America and Europe. Today, many countries use the day to honor the achievements of women, support women's rights, and encourage greater participation in the fields of politics and business. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
If you are looking for that feeling of home away from home while vacationing in Tobago, this is the right place. Even the colors of the walls were carefully selected to retain that theme of nature. Outdoors, the property overlooks a tropical coconut palm estate, while the landscaping has that rustic touch that screams oasis. It's now time for our tourism series, My Tourism Story. This week, we highlight Alex Ned, the owner and manager of Waterholics, a company devoted to your passion for water sports, cruises, and even fishing trips. Have a look.
My name is Alex Ned. I'm the owner of Tobago Waterholics. I've been in the tourism field for over 20 years. I started off from the age of 13. My brother owned a dive shop. So he was randomly at home. He said, he was like, come, let's roll. And then when he started, I couldn't even swim. It took me a week to swim. The other week he had me in the water, and then my whole scuba diving career basically took off. I did the scuba diving for so much years. I was a little tired of it after a while. You know, doing the same dive sites every day, space sites, so all these places, you know. And we had jet skis at the time as well, 1 or 2. So my brother migrated. I'm here, making up my mind. Should I continue in the scuba diving thing, because he sold the shop, or should I do my own thing as a young guy? Well, I took the chance. I went on my own. I remember in 2004, I printed my first business card, and the name of the business was Tobago Jet Ski Rental and Water Sports. You know, little nice laminated card, spreading it out to people looking for business, you know, and then it's just one random time I came home. I remember I went out. I came back home and I watched at the card. I'm like, why do I have this long hell of a business name? And one time I was like, alcoholic, waterholics, addiction to water, you know. But when I created the name, I was actually ashamed of the name. So funny, eh? So when I started to really push the name, people asked, what's the name of the company? I didn't even print cards as yet because I was so like, you know, nervous about the name. I used to stutter, waterholics, you know. And it's one time a good friend of mine from Trinidad, he was asking me, so what's the name of your business? And I said, same stutter, waterholics. And he was like, you made up that name? I think he was going and like slash me, right? I said, yeah. He was like, boy, that name real bad, boy. So that gave me a little more confidence into pushing and promoting the name. In about 2006, 2007 is when I officially registered the company, Tobago Waterholics. And you know, when you're on the beach, just doing the jet skiing thing and stuff, you realize people are asking for more stuff. So why Waterholics? I realized I could create an umbrella for water sports. I started off at banana boats, then I started to do water skiing, then wakeboarding, and then other stuff. Then I booked boat tours, and for today, this is what you're seeing here now, Tobago Waterholics. I'm just at the entrance of Pigeon Point. This is a perfect location. You know, people entering the beach facility. You understand, they can see our display of all our water sports, our jet skis, our paddle boards, you name it, you know, which is a very good, of course, location beats everything, right? One of the main reasons why we chose Pigeon Point, why we ended up here, you know. One main thing at Waterholics is safety. We don't play with safety. And one thing we have on our side as well is experience, our years in the field. For example, you must wear a life vest. You must. And I always try to encourage people as well, don't think because you can't swim, you cannot engage in water sport activities. Life vest keeps you 100% afloat. Our staff is also trained, EFR, which is Emergency First Response, because you never know what could happen. You know, I say safety life jacket, down to my dog has a life jacket. Customers come here and we give them a nice trip. They come back in smiling, happy, they tell their friends, they bring their family next time. When you get a service, it's priceless. You understand? And that is one of our main selling points at Have Waterholics. On and on and on going, you understand? I benefited a lot from being in tourism and stuff. You know, I'm a people person, you know. And you know, it's getting the opportunity to meet people from different cultures, different parts of the world, how they live. Like from somebody growing up in Tobago to how someone grew up in Norway or in Switzerland or America. It's always different, and for me it's always interesting to know, you know. Another thing is you get to meet popular people, famous people, right at your doorstep. You get to see them in their own realm rather than on a stage or that kind of thing, you know. And that's my passion in it, you know. I mean, entertaining people, make sure people are happy, comfortable. Everybody have the love for what they do, but that's my passion. That's my love. With this line of business, you could have fun at the same time. You're gonna meet people, different parts of the world, you know what I mean? You get paid at the same time, you know, why not? I think anyone will love to do a job where you're having fun at the same time. For the next 3 to 5 years, I like to see Waterholics as a recognized brand for tourism to Tobago, for water sports, and also a main part of the component of our tourism product. I'm Alex Ned of Tobago Waterholics, and that's my tourism story.
Tobago has a special way of celebrating its centenarians once they achieve that milestone. The latest to the 100 mark is also a pioneer of Tobago's economy. Omadara Mills has the details on how he was recognized for his longevity.
Henry Archer was born on March 3, 1918. He's best known for his contributions to the credit union sector, as well as for his love of gardening, something he still does at age 100. He's lived through good times and periods of uncertainty, but through it all, Mr. Archer, a Mount Pleasant resident, has kept one thing in focus.
God has blessed me immensely. Tongue cannot tell.
With 8 children, 16 grandchildren, and 5 great-grandchildren, Mr. Archer is also known for the importance he's placed on nurturing and providing for his family. His son Cecil gives an insight into one of the exemplary principles he's learned from his dad.
From a little child, I always heard people saying, they're rich. People always think the Archers, Henry, are money. But it had more to do with his skill in saving on the consumption side.
In 1970, Mr. Archer received the Hummingbird Medal Silver for his work in the development of the cooperative and credit union societies in the country. Economist Dr. Vanus James says Mr. Archer's principles in finance and business should be practiced by all entrepreneurs in Tobago.
When you went into the store, what you notice is the fundamental principle that we preach in economics all over the world today: customer care and customer participation. And we had a couple of staff members that preached that. Mrs. Proctor, I think, was one of them. And I think it would be good for Tobagonians to go back to that principle.
The Division of Community Development, Enterprise Development and Labour awarded Mr. Archer a Certificate of Life. In presenting the award, Secretary Marcelin Melville Jack praised the centenarian for his strong spiritual devotion, love of gardening, and dedication to family.
I want to thank you, too, for teaching all of us in Tobago what it means to be a patriarch. You have shown by the many offsprings that I see here today that family is everything. You have shown by your example that once you have God in your life and you stick to the morals and principles of the Bible, that you can achieve anything.
The Department of Community Development continues to recognize the island's centenarians through its Centenarians Awareness Program. Mr. Archer is now one of a few centenarians on the island. I'm Omadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
We've got to take a break, but coming up next, we'll tell you why fashion in Tobago is grabbing all the headlines. Stay with us, we'll be right back. While you're in Tobago, make sure you get outdoors and enjoy the beauty of the island. Sherburne is the road that leads you to the exciting nightlife of the Southwest, the beautiful beaches of the North Coast, and the allure of nature, wildlife, and the best diving spots in Windward, Tobago. Now, the island is also full of creative talent. In fact, Tobago's most popular annual fashion event is seeking to take more of this talent to the world, as you'll see in this next story. Have a look.
This year's Tobago Fashion Coda will bring lots of joy to patrons. It's aptly themed, Smile. But more than that, 2018 will see international designers gracing the runway such as Amsterdam's Lisa Law Froing. This year's event takes place on April 26th at the Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort.
We felt that if we would encourage more people to come to Tobago, as you know, the Tobago Jazz Experience is normally held on the weekend, and we were saying, come an extra night and enjoy this magnificent sunshine, this gorgeous mosaic we have here in Tobago.
Local designers like Eclipse Eli and Tobagonian Dale Angus and Elizabeth Arthur will also be featured.
My design is to show all women different types, different sizes, that you can still, wear this swimsuit and feel beautiful about yourself on the beach. Not to wear a t-shirt and shorts. You can wear a one piece and still feel the same way.
The goal is to draw attention from the Netherlands, Europe, and North America, and create greater exposure for our local fashion designers at international fashion hubs.
Art, music, film, and fashion are just some of the creative industries that the Tobago House of Assembly seeks to nurture amongst Tobagonians, and young Tobagonians at that. Fashion, in particular, is a creative, enterprising, multifaceted industry that is vital to our economic and personal well-being.
This is the 6th edition of Tobago Fashion Coda, a fusion of fashion, art, music, and cuisine. I'm Marlon Gotzelben for Let's Talk Tobago.
And it's now time to have Your Say, the segment of our program where we hear what you, the viewers, have to say. Let's take a look at who had their say this week.
Alright, so we're here with Miss Jordan right now. So we're here with Bruce right now. So we're here with Brent right now. We're asking Mr. Philip. And we're asking Bruce Winchester. I can't cooperate, I'm telling you. Right, so last week we would have celebrated International Women's Day. And next Monday, we're going to have the swearing in of the first female president of Trinidad and Tobago. So we caught up with some folks right now and we're asking them, how do you feel about the first female president of Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, I feel really elated that is history being created here in this little twin republic.
Wonderful. What a lady. Women have more intelligence than men,
I'm all for it. Thumbs up for her. I wish her the best of luck. And is to show we women out here what we can do.
How do you feel about the swearing in of the first female president of Trinidad and Tobago?
I feel kind of comfortable within the terms that it's both male and female have powers. And female president, maybe she would be able to mother the country better.
We as people, we need to give one another a chance and a fair chance. It's not about everything had to be a man or we had to be a woman. It's what you have to offer for the country.
I think it's a nice thing because watch me, woman has been on the back log for too long on thing.
I feel great, man, when my woman is boss.
Well, I'm blessed to know that we are having our first female president of Trinidad and Tobago because we had our first female prime minister, so the ladies dominating the stage now.
We close yet another edition of Let's Talk Tobago, and as always, we thank you for watching. Please email us with your comments or queries about the program, and be sure to visit our website, like our Office of the Chief Secretary Facebook page, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. From our house to yours, I'm Davia Chambers, along with the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly, wishing you a safe and very productive week. We close now with a montage of the launch of the Tobago Watercolors project, which features an underwater sculpture by the Cropper Foundation and artist Peter Minshall.